Welcome to the Family Banking Show with your hosts Rob, Derek, and John, where we dive into the world of the infinite banking concept and discuss personal banking strategies to secure your legacy and build generational wealth. We're glad you're here, and we hope this episode serves you well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Family Banking Show. We're your hosts, Derek, Rob, and John. And in this episode, the first episode of the show, we're going to talk about what this show is about, a little bit more about us, how we got started, and what we hope to accomplish. So this show is focused solely on the impact that infinite banking and the infinite banking concept can have in your personal life and for your family's finances. So you're going to hear us talking about that quite a bit. But we're also going to be integrating our faith, our views on family and stewardship, and how we can build a lasting generational family legacy for many, many more generations to come. Rob, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the infinite banking world?
Sure, yeah. So my background is my education, mechanical engineer from Michigan Tech University, way up in northern Michigan. And I've been in the high tech sector for 28 years. And back in 2017, I listened to a lecture by a man, his name is Jim Kindred, and he talked about this thing called the infinite banking concept. It was like a additional training session that I kind of stumbled across, and that really kind of just piqued my interest. Like, what is this IBC? What does that mean, infinite banking? It really kind of grabbed my attention. So he mentioned Nelson Nash's book, Becoming Your Own Banker. So I purchased that book and read it and started digging into it. Came across the Laura Murphy report. I don't know if you guys have listened to that podcast, but that's Carlos Laura and Bob Murphy, founders of the Nelson Nash Institute, one of the founders of the Nelson Nash Institute. And, so just started digging into that and doing some more research. And I was like, oh, this sounds like this is what I've been looking for. This really is a way to kind of change the financial trajectory of my family's life. So then in 2018, got the first of my two infinite banking policies. One big one on myself, a high premium policy on myself, and then a convertible term on my wife. And been doing it since then, just capitalizing my system, taking out small policy loans for different projects, things around the house, paid off some small debt, and was just kind of capitalizing my system and and proving it to myself that it worked. And fast forward to 2023, and I was like, this is really working. It is exactly what Nelson said in the book. I want to share this with people. And so then I reached out to a common mentor of ours and talked to him about potentially getting involved in how do I teach other people about the infinite banking concept. And then became a licensed producer in Minnesota, life insurance producer, and became an IBC practitioner, a Nelson Nash authorized practitioner, and went through that program. Now joining forces with you guys so we can spread the message about the infinite banking concept and how it can radically change the financial, I call it the financial trajectory of a family's life.
Excellent. Yeah, and a little bit about me. My name's Derek. I was born and raised in Minnesota. Been here almost all of my life. I spent some time in Chicago where I went to school. Originally, after I graduated from college, I was going into ministry as a youth pastor, along with serving with my wife, Marissa. Now, I worked in the project management space for several years, and now stepping into the life insurance world to help families recapture debt that they were paying out to other banks, and utilizing this concept of infinite banking as a place for them to not only grow their wealth, but build a legacy for future generations. We've got 2 kids of our own, so I'm really focused in on them. They're young and we love them. They're full of joy, and they just bring a lot of life and vitality to our family. So, John, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, just welcome everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us on this first episode, and hopefully a long journey to come. And so, yeah, a little bit about me. First and foremost, I am a Christian, and I believe in follow Jesus Christ. And so I think that's just first and foremost just what I wanted to say about me. And some other aspects are, I'm also married. I also have 2 kids, just like Derek. So my wife Mary and our 2 kids, I have a 1 and 2 year old. So just like Derek, we are running around with little toddlers and potentially very, very tired. But our passion for IBC and serving others, I think, is propelling us through to start this podcast and to truly try to serve people. So um, I was born and raised in San Antonio, Texas. Out of high school, joined the Navy. I went to the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. I studied mechanical engineer there. Didn't use my degree at all, as most people, if not all, at these military academies do, because immediately you're kind of thrown into active duty. For me, it was in the Navy. I could have gone Marines, but through the Naval Academy, but chose to be a surface warfare officer. I was on ships as an officer, kind of navigating, leading, and doing some cool stuff. Did 2 deployments over 5 years, which is kind of the requirement, the timeline requirement for going to the Naval Academy and that service contract. So at the end of the 5 years, I decided it's best for me, my family, to be just more present at home with my kids, with my wife, and left the beautiful sunny San Diego with beaches and beach volleyball and all sorts of fun, and I got to move to the wonderful city of Minneapolis. And I joke, but honestly, it is just beautiful over here. Right now we're recording in May, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I love the seasons already, and so that's where my wife's family is from. She's one of 9 kids in her family, so it's really nice to be close to family. But ever since moving here, I was kind of at a crossroads. It was kind of a reset for me to look at the rest of my life, essentially, with my family and with finances specifically, looking at my parents, in-laws, just all sorts of people who are in their retirement age, and just trying to seek wisdom on what the right way ahead for my family was. So I've had another mentor who's talked about that crossroads are really good. They kind of force you to make a decision to go one way or another, and that's kind of where I was. And so very similar to Rob, I found this real estate group, and through that discovered just the title, Becoming Your Own Banker. And I thought that was an interesting title for a book, and looked it up on Amazon and decided to purchase it. I saw it was only, it was less than 100 pages, so it was doable for me. I'm not, the most well-read person by any means, but definitely saw it doable. And that book changed my life. It changed my family's life, our future, and has given us just such a hope and a freedom and a peace in our finances, and most especially for the generations that we're looking down the road. So knowing that, and knowing the blessing it's been to my family, has just propelled me into wanting to do this for the rest of my life, and try to bless as many people and educate and just spread the message. So just like Derek and Rob, became a IBC practitioner. And yeah, really, really excited to do this show. And I think just the way we even us 3 got to meet is pretty fun, just to see that we're all local, and coincidentally, we all have just the same values, the same faith, the same, values that we're striving towards. So we all have a shared mentor. His name is Dave, and he's just been amazing. He's also an IBC practitioner. He's also kind of been practicing this for a while. So it's been great to learn from him and to do this together, to kind of walk in step along this journey of helping people implement the infinite banking concept in their lives.
Right on. And Rob, why would we start this show? What do we hope to accomplish?
I think it's just what, like John said, we're 3 like-minded people. We've found the infinite banking concept. We found how it changed our financial lives for the better. And we just wanted to share this with other families, with other people who, one of the oftentimes when you talk to people about the infinite banking concept, one of the first things they say is, well, why have I never heard of this before? And I think that's one of the main reasons we want to put this show together, is to spread that message, to educate people. the financial systems of the world don't want you to know about this system because they want the control. They want to manage your funds. They don't want you to do it. This enables you, the infinite banking concept, becoming your own banker. It enables you to manage your own finances, to break free from the banking system of the world, to generate a legacy for your children and their children and their children. It goes against everything of the systems of the world, so that's why no one ever hears about it. And so that's why we wanted to get together and team up and share these concepts and help families out to how they can create their own family banks and to change their trajectory financially.
Absolutely. And I just want to also emphasize that even though we call ourselves the Family Banking Show, if you don't have family members or at least children, that's okay. You can do this at your own personal level. And I was joking with these guys, as long as you have an income, you can become your own banker. You can actually do this. It doesn't require having a big family. It doesn't require receiving a large inheritance. Anyone can do this. You just need to start where you're at.
Right.
John, can you tell us a little bit about what our goal is for this show?
Yeah, I think first and foremost is to educate and to talk about everything that Derek talked about in the beginning of this episode, but talk about the infinite banking concept, talk about how that can be incorporated into everyday people's lives, give case studies, give examples. This podcast is geared to be a tool for anybody out there, if you're a client of ours or if you're not, to sharpen your understanding of the infinite banking concept, how that can apply, to your family, whether it's your personal biological family or your business family or church family, whatever it may be. We just see this as so broadly applicable and beneficial for so many people. So since there is a lot involved with the infinite banking concept, a lot that's included in Becoming Your Own Banker, written by Nelson Nash, it's definitely worthwhile to talk about it and to kind of take a deep dive into each aspect of the concept. So I think education is first and foremost what we want to do. And also, it's just a chance for people to get to know us. If you are interested in pursuing IBC in your own personal life, I think it's just really helpful to have a little bit of background about who you're going to be talking to. We are just normal people who love this. We're kind of the nerds on the specific numbers side of things, with the finance side of things. But also we're just kind of everyday people who absolutely have been changed by the infinite banking concept in the way that we see our current situation and our future outlook on life and our finances. And it's not just finances, which is just kind of the beauty of it, that it extends beyond that and can even address mindset, can address, in the book of Becoming Your Own Banker, he talks about human problems and just overcoming some common issues that people can overcome. And hopefully through this podcast, through the resources associated, like Becoming Your Own Banker, they can truly be changed and blessed for the better.
Awesome, guys. I want to just say one of our big goals is to help out 10,000 families and create their own family banking system.
Yep.
Yeah, through this show, we hope that this blesses you. We hope that the information in it is something that you yourself could see implementing in your family's finances. If you're interested in learning more about it, you just continue to follow us along. We'll be sending out more episodes as time goes on and more resources for you to dive into and educate yourself on. But until next time, guys, any other words for our guests?
I'd say just excited to start this journey with you two and with our future. The folks will be coaching clients in the future and friends and family, and just introducing this, opening the eyes of regular Americans, of how they can take back control of the banking function in their life. And so, yeah, it's real exciting.
Yeah, and I'll just say, I just encourage you, if you are skeptical, if you are certain that what you're doing is right and it's not the infinite banking concept, I just encourage you to have kind of an open mind, willingness to learn and maybe explore something that's different, but could change you for the better.
Fantastic. Well, thank you everyone for listening and watching in, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining us. If you're interested in a conversation about anything we've discussed, you can find our contact information in the show notes below.
And subscribe, follow, and leave a review to help spread this message and to help families across the country discover the generational blessing of IBC. May God bless you, and we'll see you next time.